This is called the Vinegar Tasters, and it's a classic Chinese metaphor. And so here we have the Buddha, who's basically seeing life is sour, life is cruel, and so we're basically trying to check out from life. And I wasn't trying to give you an overview of Buddhism, but let me mention to you, Buddhists see the world and this incarnation. This is part of what's called I should stop this real quick. This is called the Four Noble Truths. And the first noble truth, and this is what came to Siddhartha as he was sitting meditating under this Bodhi tree. The first truth he realized was that to live is to suffer. If you live in this world, you are going to suffer. Suffering is caused by desire or unmet expectation. That's the second noble truth. So the first truth is to live is to suffer. The second is suffering is caused by desire or unmet expectations. And the third noble truth is if you want to stop suffering, stop desiring or stop having expectations. And then the fourth noble truth is that wheel I showed you called the Eightfold Path. So to live is to suffer. Suffer comes from desire. Stop desiring if you want to stop suffering, and follow the Eightfold Path. That's the Four Noble Truths of Buddhism. So if we go back to this share screen with the three vinegar tasters, here you have the Buddha tasting this pot of vinegar and he's just suffering, right? Maybe he expected it to taste sweeter or something. And that's the thing. When we have expectations and they're not met, that's when we have pain in our life. In fact, Buddhists go so far to say, if on your deathbed you desire one more breath, you will get an entire lifetime of them because you will be reincarnated once again. And remember, reincarnation is not a good thing in the East. It's a horror because you keep going through this wheel of illusion over and over and over of all this pain and suffering and heartache. And so the goal is to get off of that wheel. And the only way to get off of it is to realize your true nature, which for the Buddhist is you have no nature. Confucianism, who in the West we know as Confucius, he was kind of like your Miss Manners of ancient China. He told the people how to live in community. And so when he's sensing the vinegar, he's thinking about its proper uses, its proper etiquette, its proper uses, when it should be served at a meal with what, all of that kind of bureaucracy going on in this head of Confucius. But the third guy, Lao Tzu, who was the father of Taoism, he's simply taken the vinegar for what it is. And he's just like, vinegar. As you can guess, of these three, I'm a fan of the Taoist. And what happened in China was you got a blend, a syncretism of all three of these views, Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism. And this later became known as Chan Buddhism. And when its missionaries traveled to Japan, that's what we know today as Zen Buddhism.